Genevieve Myers. She is an actress, singer, life coach, and Reiki master practitioner.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, just talking about sports, getting started. I haven't seen you in a while. What have you been up to?
Yeah, I haven't been here in a while because we wrapped up season 1 of The Unexplained Truths, which is on YouTube also here.
Right.
And, but I did a short film called The Raft.
Okay.
And we went up to the Catskills for like 4 days and shot that. And
Nice.
Yeah, and now that's in post.
Right.
I think it comes out at the end of April or beginning of May sometime, but
Right. Is
yeah.
there anything that you can like speak on about like what it might like, a little like teaser of what it might be about or like anything like that?
Yeah, so it's about 3 friends who go on a rafting trip and
Sure.
everything goes extremely wrong.
Oh God. Yeah.
Everything goes extremely wrong. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It's really about a big theme in it is friendship. How far would you go?
Right.
For that?
Okay.
For friendship and strong female characters as well as a huge theme in it.
Okay, so
as
all
well.
of the characters are females, and it's kind of like a bonding together once whatever shipwreck or
Bonding
raft
together
problem that
and
goes,
ripping
yeah.
apart, I think, too.
Right. No,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's interesting. I
Yeah.
like that. I feel like I haven't really heard too many,
Yeah.
plots like
Well, you don't
related to that exactly. I saw that one movie with Kevin Bacon back in the day, like Along
Which
the River
one?
Wild or something like that.
Oh, I don't think I ever saw that one.
Really, really good. But
Yeah.
it wasn't about like chicks. It was
Right.
just like
It wasn't about chicks.
it was like these bad guys that like attacked this family on the river while they were rafting, and
Yeah.
then they were like stuck with them or whatever. But that's what I thought of when I saw that like raft poster on your Instagram. I was
Okay.
like, oh, okay.
That's interesting.
I gotta delve more into this. I need to know more about this.
Yeah, it was really cool because most of the people, well, the director, producer, writer, superwoman star in the show,
Right.
she wore like many hats. She wrote it for all women, but she ended up getting an all female or non-binary crew as well. Well, we did have 2 men.
Okay.
2 men there as well, so shout out.
Nice.
Yeah, but it was mostly women, and it just was really cool, with the uprise of women in entertainment and us kind of coming into our power within the entertainment industry, and kind of just taking control of the game together right now.
Exactly.
So, because it's a game.
Especially at this point in like time where we're at, where every year it seems like women are just have that upper hand more and more, and are
We're trying.
taking that stride, and
We're trying to make changes. I mean, there are a
Yeah.
lot of really big changes that, have needed to be made for years, and women are really kind of like, okay, well,
Exactly, especially
It's time.
especially in like the media kind of field where like if there was like a male director or whatever else, there's I feel like there's always that like token figure that's like on set that like holds all the power, and like not to say that there's not like plenty of women like directors and whatever else out there that are at the top, but I'm just like saying your stereotypical male that like takes advantage, and kind of like everyone has to like
and dictates.
yeah. That's really what I
There's
mean.
there's I think, I mean, I don't know.
I just mean like
I've worked
the atmosphere is probably a lot better.
I think the atmosphere on sets now, and whether pertaining to women or not, but I think the atmosphere on sets now is more of a collaboration as opposed to having that person that's like dictating.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Whereas you're like very much so.
Exactly.
There would be a person that's like, that's the guy.
This is
That's
what's
the guy
happening.
who calls
Yeah.
all the shots.
Exactly.
Whereas I feel like now it's such, and especially if you're lucky enough to work on a set like that, where it
Yeah.
is such a collaboration where, the director of photography, the producer, like they're all getting together and being like, what do you think?
Yeah.
Like, should we do now? And actors are being much more taken care of. on set too.
Exactly.
So yeah, I just think it's becoming a much healthier environment on set now than it used to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course. No, I mean,
Yeah.
and again, I mean, you see all the different people that came forward with the whole Harvey Weinstein thing and whatever
Oh, yeah.
else, and that
yeah.
that alone is just what kind of I had in my head when I was
Yeah.
talking about like that one figure that's
Yeah.
kind of telling it the way that, whereas you just said like in like when you're all like together, you guys can kind of collaborate on it and like maybe even pitch your own ideas towards it and pick and choose versus just
Definitely.
like this is what the script is or this is the way it is, like
Yeah.
don't even try to bother or whatever. Plus like just I don't know, like the vibes within like from person to person, like to knowing like that you're that close with the person that's running everything
Yeah.
and whatever else, like you have that kind of person, like
Yeah.
that says a lot.
And having a director or having people who are on crew or the director and the producer who trust their actors that they've hired, that's huge.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got to trust your actors because it's like, then what are we doing? Because, I mean, I do respect when I need to completely follow what's on the page because that's what the writer wrote.
Yeah.
And you should always honor the writer of anything, whether it's a play or whatever. Like the
course.
first thing you do is honor the writer because they're the ones who like they created it.
Yeah.
They're the reason we're here in the first place. But it's so nice when you have a director or someone who trusts their actors and gives them space. Like Holly, she gave us space to be able to create, and she was flexible and open as well. And I think that's really important because you can't go in with like a fixed image
Exactly.
or a fixed like something.
Exactly.
Because you don't know. I mean, a bird could fly by and that could spark a idea about something, and then you adjust.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, but of course, it's just what I'm saying is it's important that like well, it's more or less it's nice that you had that person from the start versus
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
having to deal with someone else and then maybe they get replaced in afterwards or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and some people just don't get that too. I'm sure she's kind of self-aware of that.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
And I feel like that's pretty huge.
Yeah.
In, directing like a big production like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine everything that goes into that and managing all of the actors and
Yeah.
actresses and then the crew and making sure that things are being shot on the
Yeah.
specific scheduled date and whatever else.
And she housed everybody for like 4 days,
wow.
and like you got to make sure everybody's eating, everybody's
exactly.
like this and that, and everybody. I mean, nowadays, especially with, whatever, everybody's got a different diet.
Sure.
Like I'm sure
Exactly.
we have different diets.
Exactly.
So like everybody has their thing, but she really took care of all of it. Like her and her husband Garrett, we even joked like they were like the mother and father of this whole like misfits that we brought up to the Catskills
Right.
to create this story.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a really cool experience. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, did you have any like you obviously made some friends like doing this as far as like the other people you were working with and whatever.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
What was like your best experience doing like this specific series, like the
Film.
Raft or whatever? I didn't know what to call it as far as
Yeah, it's a
the
short film.
Short film, okay.
Yeah. So in terms of like meeting people or
What I mean, like whatever
in general?
whatever comes to mind, like as far as like what's like the best like
well,
story that comes up like on set or off set, like something ridiculous.
yeah. So in the Raft, we have to look like we've really been through it,
Sure,
like
sure.
We have to have dirt and like, blood dripping and this and that and whatever. And we had an amazing makeup artist, but we kind of took things into our own hands a couple times. And there was one time where us three girls, we went out because they had like a dirt road that came into the driveway of the place that we were staying. And we went outside and we literally rolled around in the dirt road
Oh my
outside
God.
and like brought our coats and we're like stomping on our coats and like rubbing them into the ground and everything. And then there was this other time we were like deep in the woods somewhere, and we were by a creek, and Holly and I got into the creek and like fully clothed, whatever, splashing each other. And like, I think there's footage somewhere on my Instagram of this, but like splashing each other with water and like rolling around, and like I was like pretending like I was on Baywatch, and like and just like it was awesome. It was so much fun. And then Holly was like, okay, we have to be serious because we're like about to kill each other. I was like, all right.
That's awesome.
But it was awesome. Yeah, it was cool because we just
really
got
getting
to
into
play.
character,
Yeah.
but also having fun at the same point in time.
Yeah, and definitely getting into the environment, you can say.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't mean the character, but like the
Yeah.
kind of embracing the environment,
The
like you said,
circumstances.
and you know, putting it into your outfit, costume, whatever you call it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's funny. I didn't even really think, like, obviously if you're like someone watching that, you wouldn't think like, oh, they need to like have specific attire and whatever else, like as far as like to make it seem like it's correct, as
Yeah,
aesthetically correct. I could not think of that word
It's
for
all
whatever
right.
reason. I was
you got it.
searching for it so bad.
You nailed it.
But yeah, no, I mean, like from the
Yeah.
outside looking in, I feel like that is that's just funny, like that you guys had that like experience, but at the same point in time, like
Yeah.
It adds to the actual film itself, and
Yeah.
kind of like adds to your character.
And it's fun because when we have moments like that on set, especially with film, because you don't meet the person you're doing a scene with sometimes until the day you get there doing the scene.
Oh wow!
And like you could be doing a love scene with somebody, and you're like, "Hey, I'm Genevieve." It's like,
yeah,
it's
awkward.
like, wow.
Yeah.
So having stuff like that or having moments like that on set is so great because I think it shows on camera too.
Yeah.
Then it shows with our relationship on camera and everything like
Sure,
that.
sure.
Like in the house, Connie, the girl who plays, well, essentially she plays my girlfriend in the movie, and her and I, like, we took the bus up there together. We ended up having side-by-side rooms there together. Like, we just were together the whole time.
Right.
And there was this one night I knew, I was like, well, we've definitely bonded because it was like I was sleeping, or we were trying to go to sleep, and our rooms were joined by like French doors, but we would close them
Sure.
when we were going to bed. And we were in like this really quiet house in the Catskills. And I mean, I'm used to now, I mean, I grew up in Maine, but now I'm like used to New York City.
Right.
And hearing something.
Yeah,
And it
anything.
was like dead quiet. And then I hear like a creak somewhere. And I immediately thought, okay, if someone's in the house, I have to go into that room, get Connie, then we have to run upstairs and go to Holly's room. And I like planned this whole thing in my head. And
Oh
I
my
was
God.
like, clearly my first priority is to save Connie. So
Yeah.
I think I really hope that comes off on camera in this film.
Exactly.
Because like that's, yeah.
You've
But it's
made
stuff
that
like
connection with her that fast, and
Yeah.
again, it's going to be reflected through the film or whatever. That's funny though.
Yeah.
'cause, I mean, I haven't really spent any time in the Catskills. I went to school in the Adirondacks, but
Oh, really?
same thing as far as.
It's beautiful up there.
Oh yeah. No,
It's lovely.
I've driven through the Catskills, but I haven't. I've never I've always wanted to do like the whole like middle of the woods cabin
Oh,
shit.
yeah, yeah.
Freak myself out, but
Totally do it. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna do it by myself.
It's like, it's weird because I have a house in Nova Scotia, and it's like,
Oh wow.
it's like remote.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
It is remote.
Yeah.
And it was one of my first times being in the house by myself because usually my mother is there.
Right.
And I spent a few days there by myself, and I remember going to bed and it taking me a while to get to sleep because it's just so quiet.
Oh my god.
And it's lovely.
Yeah.
But at first, it's like so eerie because it's like if I hear anything, I'm gonna flip out.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Like, if
You're
I
going
hear-
from complete opposite, like you said, from New York City to
Right.
that is just like
Yeah.
the complete like 180. No,
Yeah.
that's wild. I didn't know that you were from Maine though. That's
I am, yeah.
That's interesting. What? How long have you been in New York City for?
About 9.5 years.
Oh wow. Mm-hmm. That's a longer time than I would have
It's a
expected.
while. Yeah.
Someone that, came
It's a
in
while.
to New York City. Usually people are here like 2-3 years. Whatever.
And then they're like, peace.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't do this, bye.
Exactly. Well, or they'll just move here like after they finish college from wherever they're coming from.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
like, a lot of people in their 20s, whatever. But so you've been here 9 years. You've been acting the whole time?
Pretty much, yeah. I came here for school, and then when I finished school, I, got an apartment, started working, and auditioning, and doing the whole thing and whatever.
Yeah.
Getting into the business and stuff, and then I don't know, my life kind of took a weird turn. And not that I turned away from acting. I've never turned away from acting. But then Reiki came into my life, and it's been completely unexpected and, like, blowing up and, like, taking up a lot of my life. And
Right.
it's, yeah,
This is like a full-time thing that you're doing?
It is, yeah, pretty much now.
Okay.
Yeah. I was doing, like, the whole survival job thing.
Sure.
In, like, a bunch of different
Of course.
stuff.
I was just going to say about like being like a
Yeah.
struggling actress in New York City, but
Yeah.
I mean to have a completely second like profession on the side besides just the acting is pretty
Yeah.
impressive.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, no, I just mean like well, because you have
Or
to
insane, but
a little bit of both, but you kind of have to split your focus then because like, you're doing your thing with the Raft and you completely have to be, like your blank slate and absorb the character or whatever.
Yeah.
But you still have, your other life with this, Reiki
yeah.
practitioning. I
Yeah.
don't want to mess that word up.
Oh no, you got it.
Yeah, I spelt it wrong before, so I had to like because whatever text document I was using, of
Yeah.
course, didn't have autocorrect. I don't know how it didn't have it, but
Wow. Do you have it turned off?
that could be
You
it.
probably have it turned off.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. But
Yeah.
that's why I thought I was going to pronounce it wrong. But yeah, so how does it feel to like have two different like, things going on at the same time like that?
It's tough sometimes, honestly, because sometimes when I'm doing a lot of my business, like a lot of Reiki and life coaching, then I kind of get freaked out and cause myself anxiety because I'm like, oh my God, I'm not acting. What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
It's like, and then I start acting and then I'm like, well, but this other thing is like, what if it deflates? And then I'm like, okay, back over here. So it's kind of a balancing act.
Right.
But I think it's important for actors to have multiple things that they're passionate about.
Right.
Because we don't know when our next job is coming.
Exactly.
We could be Lupita and we could be booking gig after gig after gig after gig, or we could book something and then it could be 6 months till we book something else.
Right.
Look at that dude from The Cosby Show. I forget his name. He played Sandra's husband. But anyway, he was found in a Trader Joe's, working at Trader Joe's. And like this whole thing went viral that the guy from The Cosby Show was working at Trader Joe's. Like, what the hell are you doing working at a Trader Joe's? You're on The Cosby Show.
I did not hear about that.
But he's like, I'm an actor.
Yeah.
And I've got to make sure I take care of my family and that
Of
I'm
course.
making money. And yeah, it's been a while since I've gotten a gig.
Yeah.
And I think since then he's been auditioning and he's booked stuff.
Right.
But I mean, that's a perfect example. It's like, and I don't really I want to feel empowered and I want to be able to give whatever gifts I have to serve people.
Sure.
So I found Reiki and I was like, well, beautiful. I mean, and it's helped me, honestly, I think it's helped me become a better actress too.
Right.
But I think it's important to find something else that you're passionate about so that you have work to do and you have, stuff coming in from that.
No, totally. I agree.
While you're,
100% to have like a
working on the
second
next
project
job.
going on. Yeah. When you just have
Yeah.
one thing going on and then your free time is your free time, I feel like almost it's too much free time and then
Yeah.
you beat yourself up, like, mentally. Like,
Yeah.
that's with me. Like, I bike a shit ton just because, like, anytime I'm sitting around on the weekends, I just feel bad about myself.
Yeah.
And, like, I can't be, like, in one place for too long. I need to, like, keep moving around. So,
yeah.
like,
And that's dangerous too, because it could get you into a pattern of just complacency.
yeah,
And then it's like you don't want to get up and do anything.
exactly.
So to have something else that is constantly stimulating you or constantly bringing you joy or that you feel like you're giving something, it makes you want to keep working at the other thing too, because it's like you're just, you're vibrating.
Of course.
You're going.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, and not to mention you're providing for yourself, you're hustling, you're doing
Totally.
whatever you got to do to,
Gotta pay that rent.
Oh, exactly. Like you said, it could be however long, when you're not doing the acting. And I mean, I'm sure it's probably annoying too to get into that next, like, the auditioning and even finding, the whole process, I'm sure is,
It's, man,
not easy.
the business it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a business.
Yeah.
I mean, really, I love actors so much, but sometimes I just want to sometimes I wish I went to business school instead of a conservatory program.
Right.
Because my talent and my craft, I'm constantly in class anyway, working on it, no matter if I have a job or not. But knowing business, you got to know business. You got to know how to network and how to create relationships and marketing and all this stuff, because it's not like the 90s where someone sees you at a speakeasy and they're like, that one, I need her now, let's go. And
Exactly.
it's there's so much now, especially with social media and just like everything like that. I mean, now it's to the point where if I went into an audition and I was next to another girl that looked exactly like me and we both did great work, she has, 10,000 followers and I have 600, they're going to go with her.
Wow.
She has a bigger following.
Right.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's important for actors to, not to like get on my soapbox about all of this or anything, but
no, please do.
I think, but I also think it's important for actors to create
Right. Of
their
course.
own stuff.
Of course.
Too. I think that's really important, which is another thing that, especially after this experience I had with the Raft, that I, would like to experiment with. So, yeah.
What, I don't mean to be all over the place. What exactly
No,
is Reiki? Because
Oh, good.
I did Google it, but I want, like, for anyone who
I'm
doesn't,
sure Google.
for anyone who doesn't know what it is,
It's so
I just want to see what you have to say about it, just because
Okay.
before, setting this podcast up with you, I didn't really know of what the whole
Okay.
deal with it was.
No,
so.
totally. That's why I love doing stuff
But it
like
seems
this.
like it's cool.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. Everyone needs it. So energy is universal. We all share the same energy. Like you and I share the same energy. I share the same energy with this microphone.
Sure.
We all share the same energy. So over time, and we all have energy in our bodies, and we have natural healing energy in our bodies. But over time, whether it's from environmental causes or physical trauma, emotional trauma, just life in general, that energy gets stagnant. And it gets stagnant, and it can possibly manifest into other things, or it can manifest into illnesses or whatever. And so Reiki healers come in and we help to restore the natural healing energies that you have in your body. It's being used a lot with cancer patients right now. I actually did I co-hosted and co-created a event called Create Ground, and Reiki has an integrated approach to cancer.
Okay.
And we created a day. We had one of the top surgeons in New York he uses Reiki in all of his surgeries now.
Oh, wow.
And he's actually conducting a research to prove that Reiki works because I'm a medical Reiki master as well. So I'm certified to give Reiki in the OR during surgery.
Okay.
And it's being used he's the head of breast cancer surgery, so he uses it for all of his mastectomies and what have you.
Okay.
And he finds that a lot of his patients, they have a much graceful healing process. They don't need as much pain medication afterwards. It helps with pain management and whatever. So I'm digressing, but Reiki helps to store the natural healing energy in our bodies. It's really great, literally for anything, mostly stress and anxiety, which is why I think every single person in New York City should be seeing a Reiki healer at least once a month.
Right.
So, yeah, and so that's what I've been doing. And it's through hands-on or hands-off.
I was just going to say that. How do you
Whichever.
actually, like, practice this? Like, obviously you're with these people, but what are you doing with them to actually get this, restored energy within them?
So the word Reiki, when you break it down, Rei is energy from a higher purpose, from universe, whatever you want to say.
Right.
And then Ki is life force energy, so that's energy from the earth. So the idea is that the two are coming, and you're basically a medium for it.
Okay.
Or mediator, I should say, for it. And it comes through our hands.
Okay.
The energy comes through our hands, and through certain hand positions on the body, we're able to restore that natural healing energy with the energy of Reiki coming through me to you.
Okay. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
That's
And I don't lose anything.
Right.
I'm not giving you my energy.
sure.
I'm not like being drained of anything.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
It's just it's something that I've been attuned to, and I'm able to give it.
Yeah, it's like
to
you're
you.
giving it off without, obviously losing it for yourself. You will always have it within you, I guess you want
Yeah.
to say, but at the same point in time, you're kind of spreading it, if anything,
Yeah.
for that point in time at least. Obviously, you said that this can be practiced numerous times, not just once with
Yeah.
a certain person.
I think that people should get Reiki healing on a regular basis, and it depends on what you've got going on. I've had cancer patients come to me, and they come see me every week.
Right.
Or there are people who are going through a grieving process, they see me every other week. Or people who are in the greatest space in their life, but they just want to maintain and manage their self-care, and they come see me once a month.
Right.
So, yeah, it kind of depends on what's going on with you, but I definitely think it's something everyone should, because it's so good for stress and anxiety, and people don't know how to take care of that. And I get into a whole thing about self-care is not just, because I'm not saying this isn't self-care, but self-care is not just going to the salon and getting a pedicure because you want to treat yourself.
Exactly.
It's what are you putting into your body? What are you doing to release that energy that we all get on a daily basis, whether it's
Sure.
from work or from family or partners or from ourselves that we create to get stagnant?
Sure.
What thoughts are we putting in our head?
Right.
What is keeping us from getting to our goals and getting us to where we want to be, and what's keeping us from living from our full potential?
Right.
And when you're not doing self-care, you don't get there.
That makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah. So when I do my life coaching, I really do a lot of coaching on self-care, because I think we've kind of lost. I think social media has given self-care this different.
No, I get what I totally get what you're saying.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
you see, I mean, I love face masks. I love hair masks. I get my nails done every week, but that's not my self-care. My self-care is a daily basis.
Right.
My self-care is meditating every day. My self-care is journaling.
Yeah.
And doing my meal prep and making sure I get my tail to the gym every
Yeah.
day. Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
No, that is, I totally agree with that. Like I was saying about the biking before. I mean, like I
Yeah.
ride my bike here every day. Like just just doing that, releasing like whatever, I guess, negative energy I have inside me just
Totally.
by, you know, giving it my all, riding over like the
And
bridge
biking
and whatever.
is so good because you're outside.
Oh, it's
too,
amazing. It's amazing to get
know?
that fresh air. I feel like, and I'm also trying to like do like these breathing exercises while I'm biking. So it's like,
Yeah.
that puts me in a good state of mind too.
That's so good.
Yeah. It feels like that I would say is my like self-care. And like,
Yeah, and see, like, it's different for everybody, and that's what I try to help people find is what works for you, because, you know, I mean, I'm over here with my crystals and my meditation and my journaling and this and that. That's not gonna work for everybody.
exactly. Exactly.
I'm gonna, like, what? I'm gonna hand somebody crystals and they're gonna be like, really?
Yeah. No, of course. Of course.
What do I do with these? So, you know, I try to find what resonates with each person because each person has their own thing
Yeah.
that recharges them.
Right.
Nature is huge, though. I mean, for anybody.
Oh no, especially like now that it's starting to not be so freezing out, because I
Yeah.
ride year round, even when it's in
Oh
like
my
the
God,
20s.
I don't know how you do that.
I'll just wear like 3 hoodies and like a lot of sweatpants and whatever. But
Yeah.
it's I get sick a lot because
I
it's
bet.
like sweating and then it's freezing out and then
Yeah.
you're like, you know, stopped at red lights and whatever.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks. But that's the thing about riding in New York City is like it's not the same as like if I was riding in the Catskills or something like that. Like you
Yeah.
were saying before, like where I would have plenty of open space and like I wouldn't have to stop a lot. Like
Yeah.
New York City's like a different monster when it comes to like
Totally.
being out there and riding around and whatever.
And it's like a survival, like.
Oh, 1,000%.
I just started doing city bike. I just started doing it last summer.
Right.
And the first time I did it, we were over down near South Ferry. So we were on those trails or whatever,
Yeah.
you know, on the west side.
Right.
And it was beautiful. And it was so lovely. And I was like, I want to do this all the time.
Yeah.
And then I went and I did it by myself on the road. And I was like, oh my God, this is a totally different ball game.
Oh,
Like,
it's nuts.
I almost got ran over by like 5 buses.
Yeah.
And you have to know the rules of the road.
Yeah,
You know, you
yeah.
have to know like to get to the crosswalk and then cross. And
Exactly. You
It's-
basically have to have your driver's license to be able to
Yes.
drive even a bike in New York City.
absolutely, yeah.
And I mean, people say to me like, oh, you know, like that's cool that you bike, whatever else, like, you know, have a good night, you know. But I don't think that they realize what I'm like going into when I leave here and like
Right.
go into like
I'm about to go into the jungle.
it's crazy out there. Oh, and like there's just like I don't know, there's psycho people out there, and I'm not necessarily like the calmest person myself, pretty high strung, but I try to work on that and like not be so negative when it comes to like, you know, encounters with people in on the bridge or anywhere, like
Yeah.
riding up. I like, you know, try to like give people acknowledgement and whatever, and like
Yeah.
rather than like spread negative vibes, which I saw some other dude before like cut right in front of me on his bike, and like afterwards I said to him like, God bless you, dude. Like I didn't even let it get to me because
You have a blessed day, sir.
yeah, well, and like he was so confused because like
Because he probably was like, I
that
was
would have
just
pissed
a jerk to
yeah,
you.
that
What
would
do
have
you
pissed
mean?
him off so much. So, but yeah, I mean, just like
Whatever.
just being outside and like, you know, pumping those endorphins and like getting a sweat on, whatever. Like
Yeah.
that definitely puts me in a good like, you know, mental state. And,
Totally.
That's my self-care. That's,
Yeah.
I used to commute from Long Island, so like I didn't get to ride the bike every day
Yeah.
here, but I'm in Astoria now. But my point is, I used to run on a treadmill every day instead.
Yeah.
And that shit is even more ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, that was inside though, because like obviously
That's what
it's on
I
a
do.
treadmill.
I
and,
run.
I mean, like it's different though. Like to be outside is just like it's amazing.
It's
like you
so
just said, like
nice,
nature
yeah.
is a stimulant of, I guess, feeling better or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, some people come to me, excuse me, some people come to me and I can immediately tell this person needs to get outside.
Yeah.
This person has not seen a tree for real in months.
Yeah.
You can just tell. And so
Exactly.
I tell them, you need to go for a walk outside. Go somewhere. Like, and don't just walk down Park Avenue. Go to Central Park or whatever park you live near
Yeah.
and go and be surrounded by trees or something.
Take it all in.
Right. And I'm not, I mean, I was raised by hippies, but I'm not a total hippie, so don't call me a tree hugger. Like, no, this is science. Like, you need trees.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's tough in New York City because, I mean, like, unless you're in Central Park and those specific spots.
It's really tough.
You might not be around. You might, your work route and whatever, wherever you go, like, as far as, like, to the bars or whatever, might not be involved with that, like, on the way. So, like.
Unless there's a bar that is a literal forest inside, which someone should do that.
Yes.
But
if you're out there, make that happen, please.
Please make a forest bar.
I feel like that might exist, but not in New York City.
But not what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
I feel like I have.
So you have to make that happen. Then.
Yeah.
Now you have me Googling forest bar because I'm interested in.
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, there's got to be something. I bet it's in like Brooklyn, right?
It's more. Yeah. It just looks like a beer garden.
Oh.
But like a botanical beer garden.
Oh, okay.
Per se. But yeah. Good idea. I like that.
Yeah, we're going to make millions.
Make the best of both worlds. That way you can get drunk and take in nature.
Right.
But seriously.
Because New Yorkers are going to drink no matter what,
of course,
really.
Of course. You're not getting past that.
Yeah.
But even on days that, like, you're not, like, going out and trying to, get drunk and you just, like, finish with work or whatever. Like, for me, like, I can't do that after work because it's dark out. Mm-hmm. So it's, like, to go to the Astoria Park or wherever I would be going, you can't even go in the park after dark.
No, yeah.
Plus, like,
I wouldn't.
To take it, I feel like the colors and everything, like, that kind of, like, adds to, like, the green and the blue and the water and whatever.
Yeah, because what are we looking at all day? Gray.
Exactly.
And black and white.
Exactly.
That's New York.
Exactly.
I mean, the occasional brick. But, I mean, it's not green or blue or yellow or purple. I mean, it's,
Right.
And the chakras are colors for a reason.
Sure.
So, we need it. We need that I mean, it's life. Trees and nature and all of that, it has energy and it has healing energy. That's why in hospitals, if God forbid you ever are, get a room with a window, because when you can see trees and see the sky, it's been scientifically proven you heal faster.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is really interesting.
Yeah, when people are able to, if they're in a situation where they can get out of bed and they're able to go outside, they heal faster.
Yeah. That's the same reason that they'll take the people out for walks and whatever to,
Totally, yeah.
My grandfather, before he passed a couple of years ago, he was in one of those, like, nursing homes or whatever. And, like, that was, like, the one thing he'd always be like, oh, I'm so glad you guys are here. Because I guess they didn't let him go outside unless there was, like, family there or whatever. So anytime we would show up, he'd like, all right, my time to go outside.
Yeah.
And then, like, he wouldn't want us to leave because, like...
Because he got to be
not
outside.
Not even because he was with us, because he was outside.
Right,
and, like,
he's like,
it just
great,
made him feel,
I can be outside.
But, yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
I was just a stupid kid at the time, so I didn't realize why he was, just taking advantage of us.
Because it feels so good.
Yeah, it makes people feel a lot better, especially when you're, like, like you said, in, like... medical practice and whatever, where people are, like, cooped up in hospital beds up all day. Like, they need to, like, they need to see something else besides that. And,
right.
Like,
I had a family member that was in the hospital for, like, 60 days last year, and he didn't have a room he was by the window, but it was another building outside his window.
Oh, okay.
So he couldn't really, get the benefits of that. So my mother and people were bringing plants into his room because they were like, here you go.
Yeah.
Here's your healing, whatever. So
that's that whole feng shui or whatever they call it, right? Where you add, like, plants and, like, organize the room in a specific way to get, like, vibes from it, right?
Right. Yeah. Because the way that the room is set up gives a certain energy or something.
Right. I didn't know if you were
supposed to make you happy.
Up on that or whatever.
No, I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
I get Marie Kondo's whole shtick.
Right.
Like her whole, not shtick, but like her whole philosophy.
Sure.
But I haven't seen her show yet or anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to look into that, but I haven't.
Right.
But I'm totally with getting rid of things that don't spark joy. Like
Well, and like you said too, like adding
got.
plants and whatever.
Totally,
like
yeah.
I had one buddy that like he had lost his father in like a really traumatic boating accident. Mm-hmm. His father drowned in front of him or whatever.
Oh
and,
God.
He was messed up for a long time, and I guess he just was trying all these different things in life to get better vibes or like change his energy or whatever. And then he like was big on that feng shui and was like, he got a bunch of plants. He threw out a bunch of stuff in his room. Like he like every time because we would always hang out at his place. He'd always have his room reorganized. Like his desk would be in a different spot. His bed would be in a different spot. Like but like always like more and more plants. And then like at some point I was like, damn dude, like I'm guessing you're liking these
this
plants.
is a greenhouse.
Like this is, but like it smelled so good in the room,
Totally.
and like I feel like that alone like was giving off like good energy, you know. But like no, just
environment is huge though.
Whatever it takes. I mean, like if that's what it takes to make someone like in any situation, but like that situation, for example, like better. Like,
that's
all
why
means,
I think people in LA come off as happier sometimes because they can hike every day.
Yeah.
Whereas people in New York are like, because we
hike to the subway and that's
right,
it. Yeah.
in like the freezing cold.
Exactly.
With, if you're on the west side, winds that'll knock you over, and it's like, kill me.
Yeah, night and day difference.
Please.
No, but that's true though. New York City is like it's unique in that sense because I mean like sure there's a million gyms and there's bike paths and whatever else, but
it's indoors.
No, just like the big buildings and everything, like some people might love that, but I feel like the energy that gives off is kind of like just like big rich like corporate like get out of here.
It's
like
a little overbearing.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not big. Like I work in the city, but I don't necessarily enjoy the city. Like when I'm done with work, I go right back into Queens, where like sure it's still a city, but like my neighborhood, for example, is like a ton of trees. A lot of people have gardens and shit.
Nice.
Throat is really dry now.
But
and like just living in that area, like in Astoria, like where everyone's got like their like little like gardens and whatever, it's always cool to like see that. And like after a day of like, you know, dealing with like, you know, taxis and whatever else, like people cutting you off. I got hit last year while I was riding my bike.
What?
This crazy lady who had like a dog on her lap. She driving like, of course, this brand new Mercedes
fine
like SUV, and
sure.
She was in the driving lane and I was in the bike lane, and then there's like cars that park in the, you know, next to the bike lane, which is like the shoulder of the road, and I was coming down 55th, which is like a hill right over here by like the subway or whatever. The restaurant subway, not the train.
Right.
I don't even want to call that a restaurant, like the fast food place.
It's not a restaurant.
That was the first word that came up.
The sandwich shop, Subway.
Exactly, which we are not sponsored by. But so I was coming down the block, and this lady, I guess, just like veered off from like the main road, like into like where the parked cars were, because she saw a spot, but didn't look to see if I was there, and like just destroyed me, and I like went flying off the bike. And then she she drove up to me after and was like hysterically like screaming and crying in like another language, and like held her dog up to me, like, and I'm laying on the ground like dead. Like,
was she like concerned about her dog?
She's like, my dog has cancer and is dying, but like also was like in and out of
but
like
I'm
broken
on the
English.
Ground.
And then like
you hit me with your SUV, ma'am.
So
what?
My bike was destroyed. I was like beat up. I had to be here for work in like 10 minutes, so like I had to make that like whole thing quick, so I couldn't like, I didn't want to get the police involved anyway.
You couldn't like file a report or anything like that.
I should have done that, but she like at the last second like took $100 bill and just threw it at me and then drove off. So I was just
my God.
I can't even call the cops now because I didn't get this lady's plate. I'm like
hit and run.
But I obviously
Literally.
grabbed the money because I'm like, I'm going to show that she admitted that she was wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I went down to the precinct after, and no, they didn't believe me.
Yeah, they were probably just like, all right, dude.
Yeah, no, and like,
Sorry.
it was crazy because later on, I didn't even go till the next day, I think, and later the night that she hit me, she was parked in the same spot on the street, so I was able to go up and like take pictures of her plate and whatever.
Yeah.
And there was the damage on the car and everything. There was the paint from my bike and everything was on it.
Yeah.
So I had all that to show them, but they were just like, dude, you're just like another, scam artist trying to get money and whatever. Like,
Sure.
They have
this giant Mercedes brand on my butt from her car is fake.
Exactly. Well, and I had pictures of like bruises all over me.
Oh my
And I
God.
showed this to them, and they were just like, "Yeah, well, like this stuff happens all the time. Like bikers got to be more careful." Like so, I mean, like
Well,
obviously,
Whoopi Goldberg has your back.
Oh, man.
She's been advocating for like safety of bikers or something like that in
I
New
didn't hear
York
about
City.
that.
Yeah, I don't know, I forget exactly what it was, but she's working with what's his name? De Blasio, is that our guy now?
the mayor,
Yeah, working with him to create smarter or more or safer road rules or something like
Right.
that when it comes to bikers.
I'll
and stuff
admit
like
that the bikers are definitely reckless. Like I definitely.
well, especially with city bike because people don't know the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I don't ride city bike ever, so I don't know. But yeah, like
Right.
the people that are riding, especially they have those like new motorized city bikes. So
Oh my
like I'll be
God.
getting cut off by like a city bike, and it's like,
People are crazy with those.
Yeah.
Why are you on the sidewalk? That's basically a motorcycle.
yeah, exactly.
Why are you here?
That's one thing I never do. Like I'll wait in traffic for a while, but like I'd rather not deal with the people that are on the sidewalk and like have them pissed off at me.
Yeah.
Because I'm a coward when it comes to that. I'll just rather like
People are nuts.
hide from those people and like stay in the street where I'm supposed to be. But the point is, how I got onto all of this was just like the stress of just like riding in the city every day and like whatever
Yeah.
else, just to be able to get away from it at the end of the day, like it definitely like makes a huge difference. Like I know that you live in Manhattan, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, like I'm not trying to like shit on living in Manhattan or anything
Oh no.
like that, but
it's
for me,
really terrible.
I don't know if I would be able to do
Or
it.
not
you know?
terrible, but
Yeah.
it's hard because it's loud and it's busy and people everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's exhausting. I love New York City.
Oh, definitely.
But I also love leaving New York City.
Me too.
I love getting a break.
Exactly.
I've got to get a break sometimes.
Yeah, I pretty much go back to Long Island almost every weekend just because, like, that's my other thing, too. If I'm not, like, exercising, like, I can't just stay home and do nothing and like,
No, I got to
be
go
indoors.
somewhere.
Like, to get out of the city feels so good. And, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just, like, it's quieter and more spaced out and whatever in Long Island. I mean,
Yeah.
the same way that I'm sure when you go back to Maine, it's probably just, like,
Oh, yeah. I mean,
remote as...
trees
Can
and
be.
ocean and
Yeah.
the biggest thing is the ocean for me. I love water.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I love it
I
there.
grew up, like, 5 miles from Jones Beach, so, like...
Oh, nice. Yeah.
We were at the beach a lot, so like
Yeah.
I love the beach, but that's probably another huge
Mm-hmm.
like stimulant is just like people like being attached to water and whatever. And
Yeah.
like, I don't know really where I was going with that. I was gonna say like sitting on a dock or some shit, but yeah, no, I mean
Yes.
like as far as just like that's another element of nature. I guess that's what I really meant. But,
Yeah.
Yeah. What else was I lost my train of thought on that.
Oh, it's all right.
And now I gotta go back. I gotta get off this forest bar tab.
You were still on that?
Oh, I was looking through pictures.
See,
Wow, I think that's why I lost my train of thought. Is because I saw one that
'Cause
looked
you're
really
looking
sick, and I was distracted by that. What else? Patriots? No, we already talked
No.
about that. I don't want to talk about that.
We're done with
So
that
how did
one.
you get involved with that Dietland thing?
Oh, I have a really good relationship with one of the casting directors that was casting for that show.
Right.
And because I didn't have representation at the time when I booked that.
Sure.
And so which is why I say again, networking, relationships is huge.
Of course.
Because people will root for you, and she's definitely rooted for me, and she booked me on that show, and I got to do that, and it was really cool. It was really impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, a set like that, because I've been so used to working on indie sets, because I've been doing indie films for years now.
So there was a much bigger budget and whatever else.
And just huge.
Yeah.
I mean, they took up like 3 blocks of just them. And like with their trailers and their crew, and I mean, they've got extension cords going across the street and craziness. But it was the swiftest crew or shoot I've ever been on. Like, it just was so together.
Yeah.
And everyone was so nice, and I wasn't expecting it at all. I actually had complete expectations of delays, there being like a mess, because it's for AMC. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
But I mean,
AMC's pretty legit, though.
Yeah. Oh, it's totally legit.
Yeah.
But I should have given them more credit, because I mean, I think I was just trying to expect the worst.
Right.
For my sake. But of course they have it together. They do this all the time. They do stuff like this all the time. So it was so great. I mean, everyone was so nice, and I was really well taken care of, because we shot it in January, like the beginning of January, and it was cold as crap outside.
Yeah.
But they were nice. I mean, they gave me like the little things to put in your shoes that like heat up your toes.
Right.
And they gave me this huge long down coat that was from LL Bean, and I was so excited about that, because I was like, ooh, Maine.
Oh yeah.
It's like, it's here with me.
Right.
Because LL Bean is the main thing.
I did not know that either. I knew it was
originated
nature based. I always associate like some dude hiking or some shit when I think of LL Bean, but like I didn't realize it was from
Yeah,
Maine.
it's from Maine. Their original outlet is up there.
Okay.
If you ever go. And
I'll be going there this summer.
Really? You're going to go to Maine?
Yeah, this is my second time. I see fish every summer.
Oh, really?
Like a lot. So I'll be following them basically wherever they're going.
Oh, cool.
Like for their tour. So
where are
they're
they?
playing in Bangor.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and the last time I saw them was in Portland.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Okay.
Well, I'm from right outside of Portland.
Right. I mean, that was an awesome area.
Portland's
packed up the car and drove to Maine by myself. Like,
yeah.
I think it was like a 7-hour drive, but like,
it's nothing.
No, I mean, it wasn't even. I've driven to California before, so it's not even.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
Me
not.
too,
It wasn't even about that. It was just more like going from like the city to like, inching closer to like, it was more naturey, like the more you got in there. Plus I had never been to Maine before, so it was just fun. Like, I don't think I had been to New Hampshire either, and I drove through there, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, Maine's cool.
Yeah.
We were talking about the Dietland thing.
Yeah,
I kind of just went on like a Maine tangent for that.
No, I asked too many questions too. But yeah, no, so Dietland was awesome, and and it was nice to get to book something that was like network.
Yeah, no, that's huge. I mean, I'm sure that's your like one of your number ones on the resume as far as like, look what I've done.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it totally is.
Yeah, like I said, I was super impressed when I saw that, because
thanks.
Well, when you had mentioned it in the message that I was talking to you about, you said something about the Dietland. Like, I hadn't heard of that show before. I mean, not discrediting it or whatever. I'm not up on every show that airs on TV. So, I mean, AMC's very legit. But watching that, I was just like, oh, shit. Like, that was really cool.
Yeah.
And like you said, it obviously was more than just like you could tell like the quality of like that went into that, like even the shot after it comes off the TV where it's just like that lady at the desk again.
Yeah.
Like, the color and like the picture and everything is just like I'm
spot on.
Yeah, I was kind of in awe.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow,
that's next level.
I was super
excited about that. I really do love doing indie films, though. And I know there's...
Sure.
And people, when I first came into the business, because I was doing a lot of indie films, and people were... you know, when I met with agents or whatever, they'd ask me, you know, what do you want to do? And my first answer was, well, everything, but because I love doing theater too. But really what I said was, I really want to do a lot of indie films because I love the stories, and I feel like as an actor, you don't have to try to... On indie films, I feel like you don't have to really sell anything.
Sure.
So you really can just tell the story. And I love that about that, but all the agents and stuff were like, okay, cool, that's great, but there's no money in that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So find something else to like.
Yeah. So they're like, so television.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, yeah.
Of course.
Of course, I'd love to do television. They're like, great. So, yeah, but I love doing indie films.
What about like big budget movies or something like that? Like,
Oh, yeah.
You'd obviously get into that if you had the opportunity.
If
for
someone, yeah.
that. Yeah. I
Yeah.
could see you making some sort of like cameo in some movie.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'd love to do that too. Absolutely. I'd love to do big budgeted films.
Of course.
As well. I mean, yeah, my whole thing, and this is, I feel like this is a good quality of mine, but also is beginning to be something that I need to work on, is I'm very much just yes. Like,
Right.
I will try anything.
Sure.
I will give a shot at anything.
Right.
I only say that now. I feel like I need to work on it because I feel like a lot of stuff is coming to me and I'm saying yes to everything, and then I'm like, oh, I'm extremely overwhelmed.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Look at that. But I mean, yeah, I will. I'm game to try anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's great to be open to, all those different,
Yeah.
possibilities within the acting, realm itself.
Yeah.
And then,
Or anything, really. I mean, when my event partner, when Jean came to me, she, said, I want to create this event for Reiki and cancer patient, medical Reiki.
Right.
Because we did our certification together. And I've never put together any event by myself. I've worked on events. I've been hired on events as like a bartender.
right.
But I've never put together
Like run the event.
a
Yeah.
cancer event.
Right. That's
but
huge.
I just said yeah, and I just kind of went with it and learned a lot.
Of course.
And just did it, and I just said yeah.
Well, I mean, that is a good thing, though, that you're open to things, because obviously,
Yeah.
without getting, abused or overwhelmed, like, you are learning a ton that you can later
Yeah.
attribute to, like, something else that, you've
Yeah.
already done now. So it's like...
It's important to be open to things, because if you just get stuck with one image or one thing that you're like, no, I've wanted this my whole life, and this is, the only way for me to get it, and this is the only way for it to happen. It's like, well, you're doing yourself a huge disservice.
Right.
Because who's not to say that you won't still get there, just it's going to be a different way. I mean, I never thought that I would be a Reiki practitioner. I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
I didn't know what it was. But now that I have, it's brought so many things. I mean, I've been on your show, I've been on other shows, I have my own show. I mean, it's like a weird intertwined thing. And so I think it's important to remain open to things and say, well, that's not really what I had planned right now, but I don't really see anything else,
Of course.
dropping in my lap right now, so let me try it.
Of course.
And there's always something to learn from it. There's always something to gain from anything, even if it's the worst experience you ever had.
Yeah. I think people are just, like, nervous. They're comfortable where they're at, so they're just, like, they don't want to step outside of that zone and,
Yeah.
like, put themselves out there to try new things.
Yeah, it's hard to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Even with, something like this, like I've never been like in front of the
Exactly.
camera before. Like my whole like 4 years, even in college, like people were always trying to get me to be on their like shows and whatever else because they had like an idea of something, and I was just like like
Nah.
I'm not that in front of the camera type of person, whatever.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, it's just I don't know, it makes me feel good to like try something different and
Definitely.
like I don't know, put myself out there in that sense.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I was going to be a musical theater actress,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, of course.
But then
You kind of learn by experience, and
I learned what felt comfortable or what felt like home to me and what didn't. And it turned out that professionally, the musical theater industry community didn't feel like home to me.
right.
And who's to say? I mean, I could be in a musical next month.
I was just about to ask you that. I
Like,
was going to say,
whatever.
so are you not open to doing musicals at this point?
I'm
or is
totally
Is that
open.
lower on the totem pole at that point in time?
I'm totally open to do it. I just don't. I'm not. How do I say this? I'm putting my energy into other things right now.
Sure.
Other things that will keep me singing, but that don't necessarily have to be musical theater.
Okay.
Because I have sung my whole life.
Right.
So I really don't want to just not sing. But in terms of musical theater, if someone came to me tomorrow and was like, I have a great role for you in a show and I would really like for you to do it or whatever, I'd be like,
Yes.
yeah. Be like, hell yeah,
Of
what
course.
time?
Yeah.
I will be there. But I just can't. I feel like I can be of service more telling stories another way
Sure.
right now.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you have any like future plans that you kind of haven't gotten to yet, or like?
What do you mean? In my life?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Not like I just mean like in the career aspect that like we haven't talked about, like in like acting. Like, is there somewhere you want to be? Like, what's the goal as far as that? Like, what's the where do you want to be in acting? Like the peak of like your career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I want to be. I'd love to get on a series.
Okay.
I would love to get on a series.
Yeah.
That would be phenomenal.
Yeah, of course.
To get on a series, whether it's streaming or network or whatever.
Right.
To get on a series would be awesome.
Do you watch Modern Family?
Yeah.
I feel like I could see you like being like the what's her name? Sarah Hyland.
The older sister.
Yeah,
On there.
Haley,
yeah.
I think her name
Haley.
is.
Yeah.
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 I
like
could
her.
see
She's
you in
fun.
like a role like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would definitely suit you.
Yeah, no, I'd have so much fun with that.
Yeah.
And I'd love to get on a series, but also be making my own stuff or helping other people make their own stuff.
Sure.
As well, because I love doing that.
Right.
So yeah, and I mean, I'd love to do major films as well too, but honestly, I mean, really what I would love to get on a series, be doing theater when I'm not, shooting the series, as well as making my own stuff or helping other people make their own stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
So do you think that you're going to give up like the Reiki practitioning at some point?
No,
Like if you were to make it like
my goal with that
Yeah.
would be I would love to someday have like my own wellness center that I can have other people working it,
Sure.
but
Oh no, that's a great idea.
I'm on the creative, I create it
Sure.
and, manage, make sure, everything's going and whatever.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'd love to have something like that
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that just
Too.
seems like just like something good for like the community too, as far as
Yeah.
like a place for people to go to
Yeah.
not only get healed but feel good and
Yeah.
kind of do some self-healing.
We have to take care of each other, I mean, humanity is, we've got a lot of pain, and I like to be able to create a space for people where they feel not only safe, but they feel like they're being taken care of.
Sure.
Because we're constantly trying, especially now with the way everything is we're constantly looking out for ourselves.
Of course.
And it's like, you know, it's like a battle every day.
Of course.
Especially with like any dreams or aspirations or anything that you've got going on, or if you're taking care of your family, or, you know, we've always got something going on.
Exactly.
And I love being able to create a space where people can heal, and people can be vulnerable, and people can feel like they're being taken care of, so that they can go out and they can take care of their families, or they can, you know, kick ass at their jobs, or
Of
they
course.
can, you know, go out, like come in, get it all figured out, and leave putting something better out into the world, you
Of
know?
course, yeah.
As cheesy as that sounds, but...
No, I totally get that.
I mean, you know...
That way they kind of feel accomplished. They get like their negative energy in their mind off of, you know, whatever problems are going on in their head, and then...
And it creates space for them to be able to do positive things in their own life. And it's
Sure.
like, my whole thing is that if you work on being the best you that you can be, then you're doing a service to the world.
Right.
Because if you go out there constantly worried about everybody else, but you're a ball of negativity and just like cynicism, that's not helping.
Of course.
You know?
Of
so start here, and then you can, you know, give outward.
Yeah, there's this one quote I heard, like, your biggest competition is with yourself.
Totally.
And I just, like, anytime I'm, like, feeling, like, just, like, not good about myself, like, that just is something that always pushes me. Like,
Yeah.
even riding the bike, like, I'm just, like, you know, don't let the people around you get in your head. Like,
Yeah.
you're in your world, like, just push yourself.
Yeah.
Be the best you can be, and, like, beyond that, like, don't let other people affect your, you know, you.
Totally. When I get into a space when I feel like everyone is bothering me, like everyone is bothering me, I take a moment and I stop. I mean, first I get really frustrated, but I stop, and then I'm like, okay, what's going on with me? Because it can't be that, like, my mother, my boyfriend, my best friend, and my coworker are all, you know, being terrible.
Exactly.
Like, that's just not.
Exactly.
That's me.
Of course.
So I have to, like, do that first.
Yeah.
And then it will probably fix everything else around me.
Right.
So, yeah.
That is, I mean, again, going back to, like, the whole self-awareness thing, like, people are always, you know, they're conditioned to, you know, wipe the problem clean of themselves and be like, no, well, this is the issue, rather than kind of, you know, seeing the world and, you know, from someone else's point of view, and seeing them, like, as far as how they are. Like you said,
Yeah.
you can't be saying how everyone else should be if you're, you know, spreading all these negative vibes. Like,
Right.
start with yourself. I like that a lot. That's
Yeah.
that is something that everyone should be aware of. when
Yeah.
they're, you know, at any point in time.
Yeah.
I feel like once I like get my whole, like, exercise and everything out, all of that out, like, I'm that much more aware, like, because, like, you know, you kind of, like, burn out that negative energy. You're just like that much more aware of, like, you know, like those kind of instances. But, like, prior to doing that, I'm like, I feel like I need to, like, that's why I do exercise, because, like, if I go out before I do that, I'm almost like, you know, a disservice to everyone, because like,
to everyone around me.
Yeah, exactly.
If I don't do like my workout and my meditation or journaling or whatever before I come, and, like, whether I go into my work or I meet up with somebody or whatever,
exactly,
I'm not fully prepared to be with you right now.
Exactly.
Like, I am
your routine,
just getting by.
Your routine is your routine, and you need to do that.
And
before.
it feels so good to be able to say, I took care of myself today, even if it's just a little thing. Like, okay, I took care of myself today. I feel good, so I can go share that with somebody else, or I can go share that in this piece of work that I write or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas people just constantly, especially people, and I've been guilty of this, people who, I'm always guilty of this, but people who just are constantly like, no, I can't do that yet because I told this person I would do this, and then I told this person I would do that, and then I told like that I have to go to this thing, and then I have to get this done and pick up this thing, and it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Because look at yourself. You know, you really think that, you know, this person wants to hang out with you when you're like that?
Of course.
You really think that's gonna, you know, and what if that person is meeting you in that same, you know, energy? Then it's just
even worse.
Even worse.
Yeah.
It just amplifies. And it's just like, take care of yourself.
Exactly.
You know, people are so focused on. And it's great because there are so many givers out there, but that's why, especially if you're a giver, you have to nurture yourself.
Of course.
Because I say to people all the time, you can't drink from an empty well.
I was just going to say that too, with the fact that you're always giving back to other people, but you said at one point, like, but it never leaves me. You know, in that same instance, it's like, you still have to take care of yourself. It's not like you only help, you know.
Oh yeah, I get my Reiki session once a month.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah.
I do. I make sure.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna ask that. I didn't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have I have a Reiki sister that gives me my Reiki sessions once a month, and you know, I make sure I do that because I know that I'm not gonna feel good if I don't get done what I want to get done. And if I'm not getting it done, it's because I'm either tired, I'm sick, or I'm depressed, or not motivated, and all of those things is like, I have not done anything for myself. Like, you know?
Of course.
I haven't done anything. And it's not like you have to have a whole hour and a half routine. Take 5 minutes to write down things you're grateful for.
Yeah.
You know, take 5 minutes to just close your eyes and listen to what your breath feels like.
Right.
You know?
I read something on Facebook yesterday. If you write 5 things you're grateful for every day for 21 days, you like reset your brain into like being happier or something like that.
Yeah, man.
And I just thought that was cool because
I
woke up today, did my 5 things. I'm like, shit, I better stay consistent with this because I want to feel good in 20 days.
Yeah.
So
it's especially good to do stuff like that. If you don't have time, like if you're one of those people, if you're kind of like me and you're one of those people that in the morning, like you just like need to get going.
Right.
You know, do your workout and whatever, because I don't always meditate during the day. I will meditate before bedtime.
Sure.
But I'll do my journaling and my gratitude lists and stuff like that mostly before bedtime.
Okay.
And I've also seen or read that sometimes it's best to do it before bedtime because then your brain is set in that gear before you go to sleep, and when you sleep, it just amplifies it as you sleep. So that then you wake up and you feel amazing. There is no wrong side of the bed.
Of course.
You know, so
I never really thought about it that way. But now I gotta.
That's why I
gotta switch it up. I gotta switch my order.
Right. That's why they tell you like don't watch anything crazy before you go to sleep because you're gonna have bad dreams about it because that
happens to me all the time.
Gets in your subconscious.
Exactly.
And like, you know.
I'm a huge fan of Criminal Minds.
Oh yeah, me too. True crime.
Oh, I love true crime.
Oh my god, I love it.
But between I could be watching either of those, and like to watch that going to sleep is like then
a recipe for disaster.
Exactly. Like, but I do notice like with the going back to the exercise thing, I keep talking about it, but like it really does.
It's important, especially if you have anxiety.
Yeah.
You know, if you have stress and anxiety, especially anxiety, because you gotta just like physically get that crap out.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Like,
but I feel like more when I'm like when I take a day or two off and then I'll like watch something like that when I go to sleep. Like I see it like it happens. You know, like I'm to the point where I can tell like when it's gonna happen and like it's also like I feel like it's like how if you eat before you go to bed or whatever, like you're not supposed to eat like X amount of hours before you go to bed. Like that's something that I don't.
Certain things. Or
yeah.
whatever,
Exactly. Like obviously I'm gonna eat like something sweet before I go to sleep, and that is what
chocolate for the win.
What you're not supposed to eat, but
I mean, not supposed to do that.
Of course, that I don't know if it's the the one thing or if it's the eating or whatever, you know. But sometimes like I'll experience that as far as the negative energy. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know how I got onto that. I just more or less, I just kind of I don't experience that unless I'm not self-aware and taking care of my own wellness. So that's why, like, if I took 3 days off like 2 weeks ago, and I was going crazy by the third day because it was just like so weird for me.
Oh yeah.
And like I didn't feel like myself.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
I
feel negative, like I get, and I'm just like, I don't want to be like this. But it was freezing out and it was raining, so I couldn't even ride my bike. And I'm like, I was just like pumping out push-ups, like blasting like ridiculous, like old school Eminem, like,
oh my god,
like let's go, like you got this. But
if I have time off, I can't be in the city.
Yeah.
If I'm going to take time off, like I can't do staycation. I can't do that here.
Exactly.
I've tried it. I have tried so hard to have like 2 or 3 days off here, and I always end up working.
Exactly.
Because I'm here, and I always know somebody is doing something somewhere, so I really should do something.
Of course.
And it's just like I can't. I have to leave.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna, and even when I leave, sometimes I end up answering an email here, doing something here and there, but at least I'm aware of it.
Of course.
Whereas when I'm here, I'm just like, I can't chill out.
Exactly.
Right now. Like
that's the same reason, like I was saying before, why I go like on those fish tours every summer. Is because like going to see live music, number one. I don't know how often or what music you listen to or whatever, but
I just saw Fleetwood Mac a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my girlfriend just went when they were playing at MSG.
That's when I went.
I think it was like a Monday night or something like that.
Yeah, that was the one I went to.
Yeah,
oh my god,
she was
they were
super hyped
so
about that.
good. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean like that. I mean like something like that is so good for you because like. Even if you had a bad day, like, and you didn't get a workout in, like, or anything, like if you had a bad day and like you go to a concert after and like see your favorite band or a band that you like and like just feeding off like the crowd vibes and
because
like
they
the
make
music.
You feel like you're in a different world anyway.
Exactly.
And that's what's so great about artists is like that's what they do. They bring you into another world.
Of course.
So that you forget about whatever you're in right now.
And that's why they're so. I mean, like, if they're good, that they can do something like that.
Yeah.
I was talking about my favorite band, Fish. And that's why, like, I was saying, like, they can play MSG for 13 nights and not play the same song twice, but sell out every single night. And
Fish, like, hell yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. That, like, experience of kind of, like, you're, like, connected with, like, the music, with everyone around you, with the lights, and like you're just disconnected from society. You know what I mean? Like everything negative is kind of like outside of where you're at that point in time. Especially when I'm at the garden, I feel like specifically. But
well, especially when you follow them and you're literally somewhere else.
Exactly.
Too.
Well, and like that Bangor venue, it's like an outdoor venue, so like even more so like. Going to a concert and then it's outside is even like it's like the best experience because like you get like the summer like nature vibes, but also like it's just I don't know. I can't even explain it because it's not explainable. It's like you have to experience it to like
totally.
But I mean like that is another thing that I could say as someone who's not like a practitioner or someone who like gives someone advice on health, like if you're looking for something to make you happy, like go see some like live music or like just listen to music in general,
go listen
because
to music.
Like that is
music is huge.
It's huge. I mean like that was my escape for a while, like when I was in college to get through like some hard times, like being away, like I went to school in Plattsburgh, so it was like basically almost in Canada. It was like maybe like 40 minutes from Canada. So yeah, I mean, like,
Plattsburgh, is that in New York?
yeah, it's
Okay.
like right outside of Montreal.
Oh, wow. Okay, so literally
Yeah.
right next to Canada.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, just being away from home and like whatever else, just like listening to music and whatever, like,
Yeah.
it's amazing how something like that can get you through, like, just like, I don't know, being homesick or like, you know,
Yeah.
like
Absolutely.
a tough experience, you know?
Yeah, I used to, when I was in high school, I used to just get in my car and drive around and just belt out whatever music was in the CD player.
Sure.
At the time,
Yeah.
you know, because that made me feel better,
Of course.
you know? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, whatever it takes as far as like, especially if it's a song that you like and like,
Yeah.
driving and listening to music is
God.
like next level too.
The best.
It's I don't.
The best.
That's
I
another
love
thing.
road trips.
That's another thing that's like unexplainable unless you've actually done it, or and like especially
Yeah.
if you're the one who's driving. For me, like
Yeah.
if I listen to Fish, like,
I love driving.
and I'm driving like on like 87 going to, you know, up north or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like I'll end up driving like 100 miles an hour because I'm like so enthralled and like what but like
Yeah.
I'm happy, you know, like
Yeah.
I'm not even like aggressive or anything. It's just like unintentional
I've
because
done that before.
it must
I've gotten
increase.
pulled over for that.
Me too. I got a speeding ticket for it, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
the even the cop said, like, I don't understand why you're so happy right now. I was just like,
Listening to music,
I'm not
man.
sure, man.
It's Fish.
This is my shit, you know. But yeah, I mean, like, even something like that,
Yeah.
that just kind of like makes me like aware of the fact that, like, you know, even
Mm-hmm.
if even in a shitty situation, like that element of like having the music no matter where I am and like to rely on and to like
Yeah.
get me through it is just like it's amazing. And like we're super lucky with like technology nowadays. like,
Totally.
to be able to like stream music
I can have anything I want.
off of my iPhone
At any
into the
time.
car as
Yeah.
opposed to like even getting the
Right.
wires and shit or like
Into the car, into these speakers,
Exactly.
into whatever I want.
exactly. So
Yeah.
I mean like
Very spoiled.
that's huge and
Yeah.
I mean we're fortunate for that, but like same thing with like everything that, you know, I'm sure like putting yourself out there as far
Mm-hmm.
as like your business and you as an actress, like your YouTube reel, like I was able to find your
Mm-hmm.
reel on YouTube, having the technology, like I've brought this up on previous episodes, but like having the technology to be able to put yourself out there and
Yeah.
like versus like say you were doing this and you were the same age you were now, like I don't know, like 95 or 96.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have those opportunities. Maybe you'd be
No.
plugged into some like telephone cord trying to like build a website, like, but it would be a lot more like, yeah, exactly, dialing up and shit, waiting.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, like, you would be a lot more like, you know, taken back as far as like, at least you have the opportunity to kind of like use technology to your advantage. Like you said,
Yeah.
it plays a huge part, and like if you don't know how to use it, it can be like a huge burden.
Yeah.
And like
well, you're doing like a disservice to yourself if you,
well in this
don't-
day and age, like
I mean, to your business anyway. If,
well,
if
if you're a business
owner.
person, that's the thing that I was like gonna get to is like people spend so much time on social media that's like the other reason that they're like so negative is because they are just constantly comparing themselves to other people.
Which you should never do.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like, I get that, like, you want to be
Yeah.
fit and you want to look, you want to have the abs, just like, obviously, I want to be that much stronger. I want to look like this guy, you know, but like,
Right. Yep.
I mean, you got to be realistic, and beyond
Mm-hmm.
that, like, you kind of should just get off of, like, that whole thing. Like, I get it if you're taking it for, like, tips or, like, these
Yeah.
people that, like, see these Instagram pages and it actually
Yeah.
does help them. That's awesome. But
It can be great for like educational stuff.
right.
I mean, I've learned a lot about nutrition and whatever just off of Instagram.
Exactly.
But when it comes to, and this was a trap that I was getting into a lot, and I still get into it, you know, a lot. And it's so easy as an actress to do this too, because you see everybody else booking this or that or blah, blah, blah. When it's like we all forget, this is really just the highlight reel of everybody's life.
Exactly.
This isn't their life.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm guilty of that too. I mean, my Instagram is like, I think my last post, I'm like in the sun like this, and it's like, well, I'm not in the sun anymore. It's raining and cold here in New York.
This was a good moment, so
Yeah.
obviously I'm going to display. No,
exactly.
No, that's so true.
Yeah, and people can't, you know, comparing yourself to people on social media is a complete trap. Stop.
Exactly.
Stop.
Yeah.
Look at yourself.
But
you know,
I mean, like, and getting back to this, how like technology is kind of like new. Like, this is kind of like a new kind of trend. You know, like people didn't have the access to look at other people's lives and what they were up to, and you know, on the other side of the script. You know, so it's like, I just think that like with as many advantages we have with being able to like put your acting and everything out there, like it's like kind of a double-edged sword, you know, like people have to be aware that like social media can be dangerous in that sense too if you use it too much, and like especially if you're not like doing it for the reason that you're doing it to put yourself out there and you're just, you know, bored, you know, like find something to do, you know.
Yeah,
like
get a hobby, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Go build a boat or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, like if you're feeling bad, you know, like kind of like.
Well, that's a trap with people too. Is that people will just get into this habit of you know, going to work, coming home, feeling like, you know, they're not doing everything they want to be doing in their life, and then just going on their phone and scrolling.
Exactly.
And then feeling worse because it's like, well, all these people are enjoying their life. And it's just like, get off of social media. Just get off of it. I mean, use it as a tool, but just get off of it.
100%. No, I that's
Go
why.
live your life.
That's for me. Like I at one point was definitely not. I wasn't like depressed or anything, but like I definitely like found myself doing that, and it's just like, what are you doing?
I totally find myself doing that.
Yeah.
And it's distracting too, and it makes you not present with the people around you, because I find, and I'm guilty of that too, is like, it's terrible. It's like an addiction. It's like, I'll be talking to someone and I'll get someone might text me or whatever on my phone, and then I'm on Instagram. It's like, I didn't even look at that text message.
Exactly. Like, how did this happen?
Why am I on Instagram? I have a person in front of me.
Exactly.
It's like,
it's amazing how your brain is programmed like that too, because I do the same exact stuff. Like, it'll be an important text message too that I'm supposed to respond to.
Right.
And I'm completely like, like.
And I'm like, wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, they're in the Bahamas. Wow.
Exactly.
It's like, wait.
What are you doing? Wake up.
Right.
Wake up.
Yeah.
I wish that, like, you know, the, social media, like, had like those like timeouts or something like that, where like if you used it too long,
I wish it would just shut down.
Well, it's something like
if I'm
anything
on
like
it
that.
more than 5 minutes, just close it out.
Exactly.
Don't let me back on it for another 15 to 30 minutes.
Exactly. You know when like the app is updating or whatever, and like you're in the app and it just immediately closes out.
It's the best time of
It
my
should just
life.
only do that always, like after a
should.
certain amount of time of using it.
Yeah.
That is something that I'm going to talk to Apple with after.
Thank you.
Right after I get into the Forest Bar business. That's
you've got things to do.
Yeah, I'm making a list right now.
Yep, good. I'm glad.
It's pretty hefty now.
Yeah. It's a lot of responsibility.
I don't want to keep you here too long.
Oh, it's totally fine.
As,
no, this is great. This is, you know, it's a really cool platform you have here.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like for me, like it's not about me. I mean, like, I slap my name on the title of the show, but it's just, I'm just trying to, like, you know, highlight other people that are doing cool things. I mean, like, I initially kind of wanted to just do like people that were within our like generation, but the last couple episodes I've had like opportunities where people, like the last guy I had on was like the only black jet owner in America.
Oh,
like
yeah,
his
I
own.
saw that.
So like, I mean, I was like, all right, like he's a really cool guy too. So I expanded like the platform or whatever, but like, just like you are, like being open to like, you know, try new things and like, all right, well I have this, but like, I just want to do something good and for myself, but also for, you know, for people that are, you know, doing cool things, that are trying to, you know, get out there that much more.
Yeah, and you're giving people more exposure and
not that I don't have a huge following. I might have 800 Instagram followers.
Hey, man.
But and that's just friends of mine from like high school and college. So,
That's great though, because if they like it, they're going to be like, you need to check out this thing I saw. And
Exactly.
word of mouth is huge.
And that's what I'm saying. We all have to help each other out because, if I'm doing this and I don't have anyone that's doing anything and I just have like boring people on here, then no one's going to watch, number one. And like, what am I doing to highlight this person for what they are? I mean, like, for you do a ton of different things. It seems like, even in your free time, you're willing to be on podcasts and whatever else. Like, no, that's cool. I mean, like,
I like it. I enjoy it,
Yeah. No, I mean, like, again, you got to keep yourself busy, and it seems like you kind of, like, are, like, a walking model of, like, how you should be as far as, like, positive mental attitude. You know what I mean?
You.
No, I mean, like, you're.
I try.
Yeah,
I'm not perfect.
Yeah, no,
obviously
I don't. I'm not around you 24/7, so I don't know what you're like all the time.
Dark sides.
But you just seem like you have that, positive,
Thanks,
like give back to, it's fun to be around you because you give off that energy. But no, I mean, again, I'm just trying to like put people out there that I'm like friends with, or even I don't know what you would call me as far, I guess we're friends now.
I don't know.
But,
we're friends now.
I just was like, I made a huge list of people that I wanted to have on the show, and then I just came up with you as part of that list, and I was like, oh,
that's awesome.
I should message her on Instagram and see if she is willing to come in. So
I'm so glad you did.
So I figured I'd reach out. I mean, like, I'm not shy in that sense. Like, I don't really mind. My thing is more like with the cameras, like it's nothing that has to do with you, but like as soon as like the camera's on, I feel like I have like this, I have to be this certain type of way or whatever, and it's not my exact like
it's hard personality. And I feel like that's been the hardest, because with our talk show too that we have here, that we also have as a podcast, it's the hardest thing that I've found is to remain myself or really giving myself permission to be myself during, shows like this.
Exactly.
Because I don't have a script. It's just me. And I found myself for the first couple episodes, and this is what's great about watching yourself too. I don't know if you watch yourself.
I've watched all 5 of my episodes 100 times.
Good, because you learn, because I saw for the first 2 episodes, I was like, who is this girl? Because she's not Genevieve.
Exactly.
Like, she's not being, like, I felt like I had to be very professional, and I had to be a certain very narrow thing, and I just was like, this is lame. Like, this isn't even why I wanted to do this in the first place.
Exactly.
It's
like defeating the purpose myself. In that sense. Yeah,
and you're like wacko, and I want people to see that.
Exactly.
So yeah.
That's the same way I feel about like this show right here. Each episode, I'm like trying to better myself and like work on things that I've been like maybe doing wrong. Like, I was at my parents' house last weekend, and my mom's like, yeah, like, I tried to watch your podcast, but you curse a lot, and I don't like that, so I'm not going to watch it. I was just like, listen, I
appreciate the honesty, Mom.
I didn't ask you to watch it. I appreciate the fact that you're giving me the constructive criticism, because now I can work on that, and like, you're really not being negative to me. Like, I appreciate you telling me that, and I wish you would continue to watch and see me improve on the fact that, like, I'm not going to do that anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like something that I'm doing because like I'm this like hood rat, whatever. Like, it's literally like a nervous thing, like you kind of like, you're not used to doing this new thing. You're trying to keep a conversation going where like also, like I said, the cameras kind of add like that extra weight, and like, I don't know, you're just trying to like transition from one conversation to another to keep it going, but at the same point in time, like, I feel myself while I'm doing it, like, kind of shifting from like not being myself, and then I try to like inch back towards that, because I don't want to watch the episode back and then be like, why was I doing that?
Yeah,
You know?
no, I know.
So that's why,
Yeah.
like, you're right. It is important to watch yourself because, like, in doing that the last couple of episodes, I've noticed so many weird things that I do, and I'm like, don't do that, please.
Yeah.
Like, especially, like, as you get, like, further into it, like, try to, you know,
Yeah.
amplify some sort of, like, you're learning something and you're getting better at this.
Totally.
Like my buddy Eric that is in the control room, he does a similar show also, and he was telling me, he's like, no, I noticed like you do certain things that like you might not do on the actual, like in real life or whatever.
Yeah.
And or like things that he did in his first couple of episodes, because I think he's done like 65 or 70 now. And,
Yeah.
just like it's just nice to have people like to tell you what like they see without like, it's not like,
Yeah.
it doesn't hurt my
especially-
feelings, you know what I mean?
Totally,
Like,
especially people who know you
Yeah.
too, because it's like,
yeah.
you know,
They're not telling me that I looked bad that day. They were telling me like, listen, like,
why are you acting like that?
yeah, like certain things that you're
What's wrong
doing,
with
yeah, certain things that you're doing, you might,
Yeah.
you should work on,
Yeah.
you know, and like,
I
again, like,
definitely have people in my life that do that for me,
Yeah.
and it's great. You know, when they're like, "Why were you doing that?" Like,
yeah,
like you looked like this, or why are you? It's like, I don't know. I'm just trying to be likable.
do you feel like, I don't know if you drink coffee or not.
I used to.
Okay, you don't drink coffee.
Well, I
'Cause
mean,
that like is a huge like,
yeah.
that like screws me up a lot of the time when I do the episodes, and I drink a lot of coffee when I work here.
Oh yeah.
And then I'll do an episode after I get off work, so I'm like all hyped up already from like the coffee and whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was like tied to the reason that I was all, you know, like cursing and like not in control of what I was saying or like
Yeah.
how I was being. So I tried to
Well,
not.
and like you said before, it's probably nerves too.
Yeah,
'Cause
of course.
We, like, do things because we're I don't know. I know for me sometimes I'll be really nervous or adrenaline or something about something, and then I'll go home and I'll replay it in my head, and I'm like, I was a crackhead today.
Yeah,
Why was I acting like that?
Exactly.
Like, I'm an insane person. This person probably thinks I'm like nuts.
exactly. I do the same exact thing.
It's like, oh my God, I'm really, really more chill than that, I swear.
Oh, I mean, like, and that's good that, like, you know, also that you're aware of that, but at the same point in time, it's like you can't beat yourself up, you know.
Yeah,
in that
exactly.
sense, you know. So, like,
Yeah.
I just try to like, you know, improve it, but also like say like, hey, you're doing something good, like
Totally.
keep it rolling, like.
Keep telling that to yourself.
What else
Yeah.
can you do to improve it without, you know, kind of jeopardizing the.
Because it's only going to get better.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's a
exactly.
learning experience, and it's only going to get better.
Of course. And
Yeah.
I mean, like, what I also like about the show is, like, to have different guests, you kind of get to learn about
Yeah.
different,
I
you
bet you're
know,
learning about so many different
topics.
things.
That's why I'm taking notes, because, like,
Yeah.
I didn't know the first thing about Reiki. Like,
Mm-hmm.
last night I was putting together notes for, like, you know, this podcast, and I'm like,
Yeah.
shit, like, I know she's this master practitioner, but I couldn't be more, you know, not a master.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know the first thing about this. So
Yeah.
like, I need to, so I mean, like, I skimmed it, but at the same point in time, like, so just so I had an understanding, but like, I wanted to learn it like firsthand from you too, and like
Yeah.
how you like kind of interpret it and, you know, display it in your, you know,
Yeah.
own life, you know.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the acting too. I mean, like, obviously we all watch movies and TV, so like we know what, you know, actors and actresses do, but like,
Yeah.
there's a lot that you don't know, and that goes
There's a
into
lot
it.
that you don't know.
And I mean, like, from
Especially now, because, and like we said before, with actors, I mean, with people, you know, all you see is what they show you.
exactly.
But you don't see, I mean, it's like, it's a huge struggle. Like when you messaged me on Instagram and you were like, I really love the Dietland thing. I hate how they stereotyped you though. And I was like, that's the name of the game though.
I didn't hate it. I thought
That's what
I
it
thought it was
is.
funny, and like
Yeah.
that you were like, watch this shit, and then I watched it, and they were just like, Psh, you should be at spinning class. I was like, she does kind of fit that
Yeah.
that mold, but like,
When you look at me, yeah. And
Yeah.
that's what they do is people ask like, well, what's your type? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I I don't know, just give me something and let me take a whack at it.
Exactly.
And there are so many things about the business that are so hard that people don't realize.
Of course.
I mean, I've had people come up and be like, you know what? You should be on that Modern Family show. It's like, okay, cool. Do you have the casting director's number?
Of course.
Offhand by any chance?
Of course.
It's not that easy,
There's
guys.
so much more than that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
well, and it's not even just like what you were saying before about how someone's like, aha, like that's it. Like you don't just get discovered either. Like you have to go and audition for this shit, and like even then you gotta go to these. Once you get the part, you have to like go to all these different practices and rehearsals and whatever. And it's just, I mean, like it's time consuming. It's mentally consuming, because you have to memorize lines and shit. Yeah, exactly. It's an investment. I mean, as far as everyone's financial situation is, different depending on what you do. But, obviously.
But man, it's great.
No, that's awesome. I love hearing about stuff like that and that you're doing something good, for yourself and for, other people. And
thanks.
People treat other people so bad nowadays. Like, I mean, like there's obviously, good people out there, but like you see so much negativity on social media and out in the real world that anytime you come across someone that's actually doing something good, it's always great to hear of that.
Thank you.
So seriously, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Of course, thanks for having me.
I just I wanted to have you just if you want to like promote your social media, your Instagram, your website, like your business, all that good stuff. You want to just like...
You can find me on Instagram at my name, Genevieve Myers. That's my Instagram handle. You can also find my website about Reiki and life coaching at nyreiki, REIKI, healing.com. And for all of my clips and everything that is coming and that I've got going on in my acting world, you can go to my website, which is my name, GenevieveMyers.com.
Awesome.
And that's it.
Can't wait to see what the whole Raft project is
Oh my God, I can't wait to see it.
I'll have to get back to you on that once I actually get to see it. Let me know when it's released. I'm sure you'll post about that.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next time.